I always get confused. Oh, okay.
He, she, we.
He, she, we. Because I don't want to, I want to make sure
No,
I'm
Monroe
right.
don't care about that. That's what's so, partially, that's what's so dope about him.
Okay, so basically you want to smash all three of your people from...
Well, it was five of us.
It's five.
I mean, six of us. It was six of us.
Have an orgy.
So of the five, I just put body parts together, and I gotta take Tracy's personality because she's married.
Okay.
So and then Marlo, Marlo know how to roll some great blunts. So take
Marlo's
her hands.
super funny.
Right.
Hey, you know what?
And
I was
April Macy.
I was watching a comedian. She dang, I already said it. I'm gonna say she. Right. I was watching her special, and I was wondering. I wanted to know: do you judge lesbian comedians harder than you judge, like, when you hear what they're talking about, their subject matter? Are you more like really tuned in and like, nah, that's kind of hacky, or I would have went this way when talking about homosexuality? Do you ever like gauge, because as comedians, naturally we already judge comedy harder, but do you judge homosexual comedians harder?
I think no, I don't really judge them. I just, I think with everybody, I look at jokes and go either, damn, I wish I came up with that, or, oh, I would have went this way. And I think sometimes you see yourself in mistakes that you like critique as an audience member watching. You know what I'm saying? So like people used to tell me to stop cursing and so on and so on, and I'd be like it's just how I talk. Right. And then you listen to yourself and you like, fuck shit. You like, I'm cursing at places that don't matter.
Right.
So like that's certain things that I pay attention to, is like, oh, I might do that and I should probably stop, or, so on and so on. But I think in general, the problem is when it comes to that whole world, you get stuck in a certain like, oh, you're a lesbian or you're a gay comedian. But in all actuality, you're talking about life as it is. If I was dating a dude and I was doing these jokes on dating a dude, it wouldn't be considered straight comedy. You know what I'm saying? It would just be, oh, she's talking about her relationship and so on and so on. So it's kind of hard to like.
I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, because from on the heterosexual perspective, they're talking about homosexual relationships. But in actuality, you're talking about relationship. You see what I'm saying?
Relationship, yeah.
Straight up.
I was getting I remember Stud hit me up and talked about my special and just said, man, I was rooting for you, but you sound like you misogynistic. And I go, how? And she's talking about this joke I do.
I didn't know a lesbian could be misionistic. I didn't know that was a thing.
But it's like taking the male mind, and I'm not fighting for the cause. But the joke was about me dating an unattractive girl and how I felt. And I literally responded and said, hey, this goes the same for dudes. That's just not what I'm dating. So if I was dating a dude, I could do the same freaking joke. It's not sexist. I mean, it's not, misogynistic and stuff. It's what's real to me.
Right. But what I've come to realize is you can't please everybody. There's always going to be someone that has an issue with something you say. You could be in a comedy club killing 300 people, killing. There's at least still 5 people that feel disrespected and offended about everything that came out of your mouth.
Right. Absolutely. Everything.
Yeah, that's how I felt about like even Chappelle special, which was amazing. The Sticks and Stones. I feel like that was an incredible body of work. But I know there are some people that's like, he's a racist, and he's like, well, you don't have to watch your shit, just like you said. But I think he's amazing.
Yeah, I think what he showed, it was funny because I was talking about this in another podcast, but I think what he showed was
wait a minute, my bad. I meant to tell you the tagline for my podcast is I'm officially another nigga with a podcast. That's my
I love that.
All right, I'm listening.
No, that was hilarious. I hate you. I hate you so much.
Dave Chappelle special. You was talking
Oh,
about him on the
I
podcast.
was just gonna say, I think it shows how hard it is to laugh at certain things right now, because he really didn't do jokes.
Oh, my bad. But I wasn't talking about that one. I was talking about the Sticks and Stone one, not the YouTube
Okay.
one, not the
Okay,
YouTube one.
never
But
mind. All
let's
right.
talk about the YouTube one. What you thought about it?
No, I'm just saying, like, the time that we're in is, even when you're trying to be funny, if you go in that direction to talk about politics and stuff, the seriousness of it still shows.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, because at the end of the day, and you know what? People was wondering why I started doing music. And part of the reason why I started doing this because there were certain things that I wanted to express and talk about that I felt like I couldn't really do in joke form.
Right.
Or I couldn't articulate it the way I wanted to articulate it. As much as I would love to be the next Chappelle or Chris Rock, I'm not there with all of my material yet on that level. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, I can't express that and articulate that without it coming across offensive or heavy-handed or whatever the case. So let me try to ease some of that messaging in my music,
Right.
and still get that out.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's real. That's where we are right now, and it's so sad because it's becoming like, it's really, to me, just going, what are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about that's not offending anybody? And I feel like the more we smash into that, like with the Dave Chappelle, the Sticks and Stones, there's this outrage in the newspaper and stuff, but most of the people I talked to in the LGBT community was like, that's true. And that was funny, either or. But it's like, the only time it's frustrating is like, why are you talking about that in every special? Like, what? That's the only argument I could see. It's like,
Gotcha.
you have something specifically against it, or you're doing it
You
because
talking
people
about,
keep
like,
bringing it up.
you talking about Chappelle because he did it, talk about transgender in like 3 specials.
Yeah, so people, I haven't watched all of them, but
Mm-hmm.
people keep going. But he kept saying it. The one I saw was Sticks and Stones, and I was like, that was fucking brilliant. And they're like, yeah, but he does it, and that's all he talks about. And it's like, that's the only argument that I see.
It's not all they talk about, but I can
I know.
understand. But I can understand where they're coming from, because I think he does mention it, reference the transgender community, in probably at least 3 specials. But
But he don't care.
he don't care. But in his defense, he'll say, I talk about niggas in all of my specials, and I talk about white people in all of my specials. That's the funny thing about comedy. What I realize is, people think everything is funny until you strike a nerve that hit close to home to them. So you'll see people, they'll laugh at everybody, every race, every religion, every subject. But when you say something that affected them personally, oh, now you went too far.
Yeah. I was with you.
I was with you
the
too.
gays.
Straight up, and that's the thing that I realized about comedy. I was like, man, that's why I always say, man, that joke just wasn't for you.
Yeah.
You don't got to cancel people over the shit. Like, that joke wasn't for you. Maybe the next joke will be. Maybe you'll resonate with the next joke.
Right. But with social media and all this stuff, I think people are holding people accountable because you have a broader audience now. It's like, you're not just living your life, and you could argue so many things of, like, people make mistakes. And if you recognize it and grow from it, then I don't see anything wrong with some of the things that people keep pulling up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When it comes to a lot of different topics, but you're a leader and people look up to you. So people, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, Cardi B, y'all could do the WAP thing, and that's great. But
hey, what does WAP? What does WAP stand for again?
Wet ass pussy. Right. Get this wet ass. I mean, don't get me twisted. I'll be like, oh man, my pussy is wet sometimes. But
I said the same thing. My pussy is wet. I'm joking.
I mean, your pussy could be wet. You got a pussy you in. You know what I mean?
Hey.
But the truth
My
of
wife,
it
my
is,
wife is
I
like,
got this
yeah,
niece.
yeah, motherfucker,
Yeah.
this pussy.
You better say it.
Yeah, you better say this. All right, I'm listening. My bad. Hey, I could just see her watching the shadows. Like,
Yeah.
what you said, motherfucker? You said my pussy.
What? Why is you so mad at me?
But you were saying Cardi B, and you saying because they have a larger platform, and
No, I'm just saying the fact that it's so easy to access it. Like I can imagine my niece just being able to type in Cardi B and it pop up, and I'll be like, "What the hell are you listening to?"
right, yeah, because I'm not gonna lie to you. First of all, the dude that made the original song, I used to intern for him, and when I was in Atlanta, when I was in college, his name Frank Ski. I didn't even know that was his song originally. There's some hoes in this house.
Yeah,
There's some, so that's his.
people.